What did you do as a teenager that you will never tell your parents? All those times I sarcastically answered smoke the reefer to the question of what I was going out to do, I was actually telling the truth. Setup: sister is 4 years older than I, straight as an arrow. The type of sibling who enjoyed snitching on her younger brother. No worries. She's away at college. I am the exact opposite. Always in trouble, always playing it fast and loose. I'm a senior in high school. I'm holding down a job, getting decent grades, and my parent decide that they can finally trust me enough to take a vacation and leave me in the house. They hire a house sitter, John, who doesn't care what I do as long as I don't burn the place down. On a fine Saturday morning, I wake up, pour myself a drink from my father's locked booze stash, and put on some. I'm wearing a pair of underwear and nothing else. 10 minutes later, surprise! My sister walks through the door. Fortunately, I hear the car just in time to shut off and throw a blanket around my mostly naked and fully erect body parts. Sis notices, of course, that I'm hanging out in the living room, wrapped up in a blanket, face red as a beet. Hey, didn't know you were coming home. I'm gonna jump in the shower. End of story, right? Wrong. Sis finds my drink, spiked with dad's booze. I'd finished it off, but she detects the smell of booze. Unbeknownst to me, she wraps the cup in saran wrap, sealing in the smell. She writes my parents a note, telling them how she found the cup next to my chair when she popped in for a surprise visit. She places the cup and the note in my parents' bathroom. A couple of days pass. I'm preparing for my parents' imminent return by cleaning the house. I find the note and the cup hidden away. Not only does it implicate me, it implicates John, the house sitter. Seems that my sister also found a stash of condoms and lube elsewhere in the house. I read it. I'm beside myself. I take the saran wrap off the cup, rinse it, replace the contents with plain Coke. I then show the note to John, the house sitter. John, well, she's a bit on edge. The condoms are mine. Just part of my overnight kit. Why was she snooping through my things? Me, yeah. The rest was like watching a predictable yet perfectly choreographed movie. My parents arrive home. John pulls them aside to talk about the note and the cup. They sniff the cup, smell nothing. They read the note and interpret it as paranoid delusion. My sister gets a stern lecture on the dangers of snooping and invading the privacy of others. And I, the 17-year-old drunk who nearly got caught jerking off in the living room, get an apology from my parents. My lips are sealed. Forever. I really didn't want to do PE one day, but I didn't have a good reason, so I knew my dad wouldn't write me a note. So what I did instead was get a plain piece of paper and asked him to sign it because we're doing a thing in English where we try to guess the personality of a person from their signature, which he totally bought. I then went to the printer and typed out your standard sick note, stuck the signed plain paper into the printer, so when the note printed my dad's signature would appear at the bottom. I will probably tell my dad this at some point, because I'm actually kinda proud of myself for pulling it off. My sister is amazing at copying other people's handwriting. She used to make some serious coin when we were in high school, got a lot of people out of school for the day. My time to shine. My senior year of high school, I snuck out of the house at like 2 a.m. to get some. My parents were a little psycho and put bells on the front and back doors. You know, in case of burglars. But they didn't put them on the laundry room door, which led to the garage. The garage had a side door in it that lead outside. So obviously that was my way out. The problem with that side door is that it's a bit hard to tell when it's locked since you can always get out, but not necessarily back in. So, me being stupid and horny, just assumed it was fine and went along my merry way. Did the deed then when I tried to get back and I found the door locked. I tried every other possible entrance. All locked. But I had my phone and an idea so crazy it just might work. I called my mom and in my best helpless daughter voice cried, "Mommy, I woke up in the front yard and the door is locked. I'm so scared." She came right out and got me. I mumbled something about sleepwalking. Then she made me waffles since I was so distressed. My mom still tells the story at family get-togethers. I now have a reputation as a crazy sleepwalker. Dr. got laid, lied to my mom, then she made me waffles. I legit used Photoshop to change my grades on a bad report card once. They never figured it out. I used Inspect Element to change my bank account information when my mother demanded to see how much money I had and what I'd bought recently. Somehow over the next month or two I managed to fudge the numbers enough that she never figured it out. I don't miss having my parents spying on my finances, but I also don't miss being so financially irresponsible as I was in my teens. My mom still recalls this one day when I was unusually positive and talkative with her. It's because I was high out of my mind on Ritalin. I had a mini breakdown when I took Ritalin once and called my mom at 6 in the morning and told her how depressed I was and how anxious I was, and that a lot of the problems I had were because of her and my dad. Not a proud moment. Sorry, Mom. My mom let my friends all come over the night after graduation. Believe it or not, she got together with the other moms for us to have a little party, complete with a few malt beverages and beer. We gave my mom all our keys. We turned up the music. We got out a table. We proceeded to play DD all night. My mom still thinks we got drunk. That time I came home on the eve of my 17th birthday, and you said I looked different, and I said it was because I'm older now. It was because my pupils were blown out, and I was on acid. Haha, I'm fine MOM and Dad. By the way, when did we get pictures that move? I'm way late to this, but I'd like to admit this. In high school my mom was really broke. Me and my sister lived with her, and we had recently moved into a house with my mom's new boyfriend. He had been such a cool guy until we all moved in together. He stopped paying his share of rent and utilities, and my mom, who was and still is woefully underpaid, was covering everything herself, including food for the whole house, all of our phone bills, and her car payments/insurance. Money was so very hard to come by for us. Just getting by was becoming a way of life for us. Winter came along and the temperatures dropped below 30 degrees Celsius. Mom worked mornings and her boyfriend refused to drive us anywhere before noon, so we had to figure something out. My dad decided to step in, still in our lives. We just don't live with him, and we hardly saw him until this point, and drive my sister to school. She was in grade 10 and had decided to stay at the same school as she had been for the years earlier. I wanted a change and went to a closer school, still a 20 to 30 minute walk, but far closer than hers. The winter was sapping my energy and making me sick on my long walks to and from school. Something had to be done. Mom got me a bus pass. She saved up and spent $100 on it for 4 months of busing. It was so much easier than walking and made my life so much better. I was so relieved to not be walking. I had a medical issue with my testicles. Walking was getting pretty hard. But that's another story. The part that I'll never tell her? I lost it within a week. I cannot figure out how. Maybe it was stolen, or it fell out of my wallet on the bus, I don't know. I was so sad and felt so unbelievably guilty, that I had refused to tell her. I kept my schedule the same and left when I normally would to catch the bus, but instead of busing I turned down a side street and rushed as fast as my half-frozen legs and balls would go without killing my stamina. I barely made it to my classes on time for 4 months. All the way into spring when it started warming up. When the pass would have expired, I was surprised one morning to find a new one left out for me. My mom put money away each paycheck for all that time because she thought the bus meant so much to me. It was very touching and I thanked her, gave her a kiss on the head and acted like it was normal. I still feel so wrong about it. And I don't ever want to tell her. She tried so hard for me, and I just want her to feel like a great mom, because she deserves it. Edit. Holy smokes, this blew up. I thought 10+ hour threads were pretty much over. Thanks for your kind words, everyone. Especially to the generous person to give me gold. I'm glad this little story meant so much to so many. I really just wanted to confession dump this on here, so this was very unexpected. I do need to specify that I meant to say *_30C, which is cold to say the least. It was November-ish when this all started, and Canadian winter where I am is like October-March. I am also on mobile, so the typing of this is pretty rough. I'm going to post the ball story as a reply to the first person to ask. This post is long enough as is. Again, thank you so much for just showing you guys recognize what happened was not easy. I appreciate it. By the end of my senior year of high school, I racked up 26 detentions for going to first period for 10 minutes, and then just leaving for the rest of the day. My mom thought I was in an after-school club called Decide Against Bullying in Schools, aka DABS, which is what I was actually doing every time I skipped. I miss high school me. You, okay mom, just gonna head out to my DABS sesh. Mom, okay sweetie. Have fun. Turns to friend, God, he's such a good kid. Every time he goes to those sessions he gets so tuckered out. He works so hard his eyes are bloodshot every time he gets home. Going on dates with girls. Kissing girls. You know, the usual for a 16-year-old supposed Muslim girl. Yeah, would get myself killed if I told them. My parents were both out of town, but left the car with keys in kitchen. Anyway, I was 16, just learned how to drive, and this girl texted me to come pick her up and come back to my place. 10 minutes later I'm grabbing the keys and driving across town in a car that I shouldn't be in with no license. They are never gonna find that one out.